Space is defined by its silence. A cold, indifferent vacuum where massive objects drift in the dark. For 4.5 billion years, Jupiter has been the king of our planets. A silent guardian, a gravitational shepherd. And, in cosmic terms, a failure. It sits in the cold, hoarding hydrogen, waiting for a spark that never came. Jupiter is made of the same stuff as the Sun, it just quit too early. To become a star, you need pressure. You need to crush atoms until they have no choice but to fuse. Jupiter is massive, but it is not that massive. Even if we crashed 10 Jupiters together, we'd only get a brown dwarf. A cosmic ember, warm, but not a star, we need more. So let's say we cheated physics. Let's say we dumped 79 times the mass of Jupiter onto the gas giant. Instantly, gravity would turn traitor. The core would scream under the weight of a sudden collapse. First, deuterium ignites, then, regular hydrogen follows. Temperatures spike from thousands to millions of degrees. And then, ignition. On Earth, it is midnight in New York. The city that never sleeps is actually trying to rest. Until a second sun rips through the darkness. Not yellow like our sun, but a deep, violent crimson. Brighter than the full moon, brighter than 1,000 moons. The era of the single star is over. Welcome to the binary system. But light is the least of our problems. The solar system is a delicate dance. A ballet choreographed by the sun's massive gravity. When Jupiter ignites, it gains mass, a lot of it. Suddenly, there are two conductors. And they are playing completely different songs. The first victim is the asteroid belt. Sitting right next to the new star, stability vanishes instantly. Millions of rocks are slingshot into chaos. Some are thrown into the void. But many are hurled inward, toward Mars, toward Venus. Toward us. We would face a bombardment not seen for billions of years. Cities would become craters. But the rocks are just the bullets. The gun is the orbit itself. Earth is now caught in a gravitational tug-of-war. We enter the realm of the three-body problem, unpredictable, violent. Our nice, circular year becomes a stretched, elliptical nightmare. We might swing dangerously close to the sun, boiling our oceans. Then be flung out into the cold dark. Only to be caught by the red dwarf's heat on the return trip. Seasons would cease to have meaning, winter could last a week, or a decade. And further out, Saturn is doomed. The gravitational resonance strips away its iconic rings. Uranus and Neptune might simply be ejected from the system entirely. Back home, the moon faces a custody battle. With two parents fighting over Earth. The moon might simply drift away, leaving our axis to wobble uncontrollably. Or worse, the new gravity vectors could pull it down. Even if it stays, the tides would go mad. The pull of a second star would churn our oceans. Tsunamis the size of mountains would scour the continents. The crust itself would flex. Supervolcanoes, long dormant, would wake up screaming. Let's assume, somehow, we survive the gravity shift. We still have to deal with the light. Depending on the alignment. We could have weeks where the sun sets. Only for the red dwarf to rise immediately in the east. A world without shadow, a world without sleep. Biology on Earth is built on the rhythm of the spin. The circadian clock is hardwired into every cell. Plants need darkness to respire, they need to breathe. Blasted by continuous light, they would exhaust themselves. Global crop failure would happen in months. The food chain snaps at the base. Migratory birds, confused by the magnetic shifts and constant light, would fall from the sky. And for us? Insomnia becomes a global plague. Our hormones rely on darkness to repair our bodies. Without it, sanity erodes, mass psychosis sets in within weeks. And the light itself is different. Red dwarfs emit heavy infrared radiation. It's not just bright, it's heavy. A prickly, suffocating heat you can't block with curtains. We would live in a world of double shadows, where tomorrow is just a concept. Because the day never really ends. But light can be blocked, radiation cannot. Red dwarfs are not stable stars. They are temperamental children, prone to violent outbursts called stellar flares. Jupiter is now spewing high-energy death into the system. X-rays, ultraviolet, charged plasma. Our magnetic field protects us from one sun. But can it handle crossfire? The answer is no. The skies would light up with permanent auroras. Beautiful to look at. Until the power goes out, forever. The ionization would create a permanent Carrington event. Every electrical grid on Earth melts. No internet, no GPS, no refrigeration, no banking. Civilization is pushed back to the Stone Age in a week. But the radiation doesn't stop at the wires. It attacks the atmosphere. Intense particle streams strip away the ozone. Suddenly, the UV light from our original sun becomes a death ray. Stepping outside would mean severe burns in minutes. Cancer rates would skyrocket. To survive, humanity would have to migrate. Down, deep down. We would become a species of mole rats, hiding from the stars that gave us life. But even underground, the heat will find us. Jupiter is adding energy to a balanced system. The polar ice caps. Gone. Not in centuries, in years. Sea levels rise 70 meters. London, Tokyo, New York, erased. More heat means more evaporation. Water vapor is a greenhouse gas. We enter a runaway feedback loop. Hyperhurricanes fueled by two suns scour the surface. Earth becomes a Venus-like hellscape. Ironically, while Earth burns, others might thrive. Mars, frozen for eons, might experience a brief spring. Ice caps melt, ancient riverbeds flow again. But without a magnetic field, Mars is just a temporary oasis. No, the real estate market is shifting to the moons of Jupiter. However, there is a catch, the Roche Limit. The innermost moons might be torn apart by the new tidal gravity. But further out, Ganymede and Callisto. These frozen wastelands would thaw. They would enter the habitable zone of the new star. Life might bloom there. A second Genesis, just as the first one is being extinguished. The universe is full of binary star systems. In fact, single stars like ours are the minority. Most planets have to deal with this chaos. The erratic orbits, the radiation storms. We are incredibly lucky. We live in a quiet, boring neighborhood. With a stable yellow star. And a massive gas giant that stays in its lane. Jupiter protects us. It balances the system, it is a shield, not a sword. We often fear the dark. We light up our cities to banish it. But the darkness is a gift. It is the canvas for our dreams. It is the shield that allows life to rest. So the next time you see Jupiter shining in the sky, be grateful it is just a reflection. Be grateful it failed. Because in the cosmic game of survival, sometimes the best thing a planet can do is stay unfinished. This video was made possible by our supporters on Patreon. If you want to help us simulate more disasters, consider joining. You get your own bird. And you keep the lights on. Hopefully, just the regular lights. Not a second sun. Thank you for watching. See you next time. Music swell. Music swell. Music swell. Music fades.